Coco's World. So I've actually got a really interesting video today. So if you didn't know, and I'm not sure anyone really does know because I never spoke about it because I would never really say like where I went to school, but now that I'm in college, I feel like I can actually talk about it. So basically, from year 7 to year 11, I went to a musical theatre secondary school. And people said, I had no idea there was something like a musical theatre secondary school. Like I would have died to have gone to that. So I'm basically gonna talk about that today and like my experience with it, because even if you're not interested in musical theatre, I still think it's really, really interesting. And also I'm gonna talk about college auditions. I've just started at my new MT college, so I'll be talking about that a bit and like what it's like being a first year. And I also did some questions on Instagram, so I'm gonna answer some of you guys' questions just about, you know, the whole experience of it all. So I think this is gonna be a very interesting video. So if you guys are new here today, make sure to subscribe, follow me on Instagram and TikTok, and let's go. So first I'll basically say where I went. So I went to Sylvia Young Theatre School in Marylebone in central London. I went there from year 7 all the way till year 11, and it's the same school that Amy Winehouse went to, Rita Ora and Freddie My Love. And I actually went to Sylvia's Saturday school since I was born. Freddie started in year 7, that's when I was born. So it was really weird. Like when I went in year 7, all the teachers already knew me because I'd been going there since I was a baby. So I feel like all the teachers knowing me going in kind of relieved, not relieved the pressure, but like it wasn't as scary. So to audition in year 7, what did I have to do? I took part in a jazz class, and then I had a monologue, a song, and my own routine that I choreographed in front of the principal, the head of music at the school, and also like the head like choreographer kind of. And it was the most intimidating moment of my entire life. And I also auditioned for Italia Conti Secondary School, and I got into both. I chose to go to Sylvia's because I'd been there since I was so young. I felt like I just had to go there, and I'm glad I made the right decision. So what Sylvia's is Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday. It's normal academics. It's maths, English, science, yada yada yada, whatever. But on Thursday and Friday, we've got a completely different uniform. A whole another floor of the school is opened, and it's literally just acting, singing and dancing all day. I mean, it is really fun, but it was absolutely exhausting. And I feel like if you were to go to a musical theatre secondary school and college, you don't just need to be like physically strong, you have to be emotionally strong too, because it's so intense. I feel like going to a musical theatre secondary school has really prepared me for musical theatre college, because people in my class now have been going to a normal secondary school their whole lives, and then all of a sudden all they're doing is musical theatre, as well as I've kind of more eased into it. And going to a place like that, it's just so nice because everyone has the same interests as you, like dance, music, musical theatre, everyone, and I do mean everyone, has a big personality, because you have to be the kind of person with a big personality to go to a school like that, because it's all about competition, healthy competition. You'll be in class and then we'll get an email from the agency and we all have an audition after school, all of us at the same time, and then we're all each other's competitors, and it is quite like draining. Like I remember when I was a bit younger, maybe like 12, 13, coming home and just falling asleep straight on my floor in my bedroom because I was just so exhausted. So at Sylvia Young Theatre School we had an agency, but the thing is their agency is so massive, and I was always and am really, really tall. It's better now because when you're older it's actually better to be tall, but when you're a child and you're going for child roles, no one wants a 13-year-old who's like 5'5", unfortunately. So that was really hard for me because I got no auditions from like year 9 to year 11, apart from the big audition, which is just like a miracle how I got that, because they were looking for people who were like really like diverse. So I was like, it's my time, my tool time to shine. Even stuff like that, when we all go to the same auditions and only one of us gets it, it's something that you just have to like learn to deal with, and the school just gave me really, really thick skin. Also, the teachers, I love all of them. I love every single teacher there. What I really loved is that they really understood that we go to a musical theatre school, so academics is not our first priority. There were a couple of people in my year who are so incredibly smart, so don't feel like if you're going to go to a place like this that your academics are going to drop, because I always feel like that's in the back of people's minds. And also, if you're watching this and you're like, oh, like I'm so sad that I didn't join year 7. At Sylvia's, I have friends who joined in year 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. You only can't join in year 11. As well as people joining throughout the year, people also left because some people, it got way too much for them. They couldn't handle it. Which, fair enough. Like I said, it's really intense. Some people, musical theatre was just not for them anymore. What I also like about Sylvia's is that so many of my friends have branched out into so many different things. Obviously, a large proportion of us have gone to musical theatre college. My best friend's gone to music college to be a singer-songwriter. I've got friends going to acting colleges, dance courses, fashion courses as well. And then also my friend, she's doing A-levels, but in like psychology and biology. I mean, she's one of the really smart ones. You have to take it upon yourself because we're missing 2 academic days less than everyone else in the country. We have extra homework and the lessons I think are more intense than normal like secondary school lessons because we have to pack 5 days worth of academics into 3. And that's where it starts to get a bit whew, because it's like, oh, it's fine, I'll just do it for homework for Thursday and Friday. No, you've got vocational homework for Thursday and Fridays. But as I was saying before, the teachers take into notice that it is a musical theatre college, so they'll incorporate things. So I remember in science, it was always my favourite because we'd be learning something and she'll say, instead of go and make a poster, she'd say, go back and create a routine, a dance routine to explain this formula, or go back and create an acting piece, or create a song, a rap. And we used to learn songs to remember things in maths and English. And also all the teachers really like musical theatre too. The school was really, really small. I think it's just over 200 people. So it literally was like a big family. Everyone knows everyone. If someone had a party and some like juicy gossip happened at the party, it would spread around the school like wildfire. I can't even describe how quickly word got around. But the thing is, all the teachers knew, every single teacher, and every single teacher would hold that little blackmail and carry it through your entire time. My drama teacher, who actually goes to my college now, he teaches there, I love him, and he remembers gossip that my friends told him in year 7 and was talking about it in my class at college last week. Because everyone has such a big personality and everyone is so theatrical, drama was like times 20. If something little happened, it was spread out of proportion so quickly and everyone would just be so dramatic. So the drama was just unmatchable. So if you're thinking of joining a musical theatre secondary school, don't worry about not being strong in certain disciplines and being stronger in others. I know some people who can't sing. They can't sing, but they're one of the most fabulous dancers in my year. It doesn't matter, or you could be really good at all 3. I feel like that was me when I went in year 7. I've improved at dancing so much more, but I was good at singing, acting and dancing, and I was good at all 3. Not amazing at any of them, but I was good at all 3. And I think that got me in. But some people joined in year 7 who, like I said, couldn't sing, but were fabulous dancers. But what the school does is they really help you become a better dancer to get your disciplines equal, so you're more employable. Like me, at the moment, my strongest is dancing and my singing needs more work. I'm really trying to improve, and I think I am improving, especially my dancing as well. They're both going up, like, whoo! Yeah, so that's musical theatre secondary school. So now I'm going to talk a bit more about auditions and the college side, because I feel like people who watch my videos are more year 9, 10, 11, if I'm right, maybe a bit older as well. I also say that because the questions you guys are asking me are also very much about colleges, you know? So I remember in like year 9, the teachers starting to talk about musical theatre colleges, and it was all like Arts Ed, Erdang, Lane, Bird, all of the big colleges. And I just remember being so scared thinking about it, and I blocked it out. In year 10, you have to start thinking about it, and it's like this dark cloud coming over because it's scary going to college, and also sad because you're leaving these people that you've been with every day for 5 years, and you're going somewhere completely new. I'm actually going to go back into Sylvia's, I think, to talk about the college I go to now, because there's so much about it that I was just not told. And I'm not going to say which musical theatre college I go to now, but I will talk about all of them, and maybe my one's included in what I talk about, but we'll never know. So I think you can start auditioning for colleges in November or December. November or December. That's the earliest you can audition. So you need to start auditioning in the first couple months of year 11, or at least start thinking about it, because the auditions run from about, for all the colleges, around November to May. And a lot of people are like, oh my God, I need to audition in like November, December, because otherwise all the spots are going to go. But that's not how it works. What it does is when you audition, you will get scored from like your acting, singing and dancing, and it'll be a number out of 100. So say I got the number, I don't know, 75, I would be put on something called a talent list. And the list is, so the list, and I'll be number 75. Then someone will get 85, someone will get 60, like that. The first round of auditions, they will ask the first 5 people to go to the college. So say if I'm number 75, say someone else was 75 and they auditioned in November, and then I auditioned in April and I got 76, I'd be put above them. So it doesn't matter that they auditioned earlier, I got a better score than them, so I'll get in before them. That's how it works, I'm pretty sure. But the most important thing is to look around the colleges and ask people who go as well, like what their experience is with things. I took open days at Emile Dale. I took classes at Bird for fun. I did open days at Lane, Theatre Arts. Did I say Arts Ed? I think I did. Where else did I go? And I just basically took open days to all the main colleges and got a feel for what I liked. I liked how Arts Ed was like more of a school, and I liked Bird's big property, and I liked how Lane was very old-fashioned. I put in applications around December for D&B, Bird, Lane Theatre Arts, Arts Ed, Italia Conti, and Emile Dale Academy. So 6 colleges. I put in my applications for all of them. What do I have to do? There's just a lot of forms you have to fill out. Like if you're physically fit, if you're mentally fit. It's so strenuous. You really need to be on top of your game on everything, and you fill out basically like a CV, so all of the experience that you've had. So I said how I've done loads of adverts when I was younger. I was in Big. I go to Sylvia Young Theatre School full time. And I remember for Bird, it was so awkward. I had to take photos, 2 photos of myself, one in like a plie and then one in arabesque, and they're awful photos. Wait, let me try and find them. But yeah, I basically had to submit them, and then for Italia Conti, the first round was online. I had to film myself singing a monologue, and I had to film my routine. So these are the photos that I took for Bird. Oh, they're so hideous. They're so hideous. This is the one of me in a plie. Can you see? And then this is my one in arabesque. Or you could have done a dance pose. So I did this one too. I don't know. I mean, that's my favorite one. I should have done that. Or that. Yeah. So then once your application goes through, they'll review it and basically see if they want you to audition. So I'll basically say what my audition experience was like for each college, because I wish someone had told me what each one was like before I auditioned, just so I had like a little preparation in my mind. But I went into it completely blind, and it was very scary. So I'll start off with Emile Dale Academy. This was the first college that I applied for, and this was the first college that I auditioned for. Emile Dale is quite a lesser known college. It's still really good, but it's lesser known. It's not as up there as Arts Ed, for example. I auditioned for it, and I was actually really confident that I was going to get in, because I'd been to an open day previously and taken part in a jazz class. And after I'd performed a song for them, they emailed me and they said, "Hi, we've really enjoyed having you. We would love for you to audition for the college." So I was like, oh, they must think like I'm good enough to get in. So I was actually really confident in my audition. However, I got into my audition group and the first thing was jazz, and I can't make this up. I looked around and everyone was at least 19 to 24. And at the time, I would have been 15 and I was shaking like a leaf. Because that was my first college audition and I was so scared. But you know, I threw out, I just had to not care, and I went for it and I thought I did really well. And then I just performed my song and did my monologue, and then that was it. Later I got an email and I was really excited, but I was told I didn't get in. Because this was my first college audition, it completely destroyed my confidence. Because they had asked me to audition, I was very confident in myself that I was going to get in. Because I didn't, it knocked my confidence, and I thought, they literally asked me to audition, like I'm not gonna get in anywhere else. My entire family had doubts about me. They were like, is she actually like as good as we think she is, or are we just like, you know, blinded because it's like your family? Do you know what I mean? Like those people on X Factor whose family makes them go on and they're absolutely god awful, but their family's like, no, she's so amazing. Maybe am I like that? And then all of my other emails from all of my other colleges came in. I think they were either all in February or all in April. I can't remember, but they're all in one of those months. And literally a couple days or a week apart from each other, and it was so terrifying. And I was actually kind of mad at my mum at the time, but now I'm so happy because I literally just got it all over and done with. But it was horrible because in those 2 months that I had to wait, I was just psyching myself up, thinking like I'm not going to get in anywhere. So I think my next audition was Arts Ed, and I was auditioning for the musical theatre course. I went, I took part in the jazz class. I thought I did well for that. Arts Ed and Emile Dale are sixth forms. That is 16 plus and it's 2 years. Emile Dale is a musical theatre course, sixth form, and Arts Ed you can either do a dance, musical theatre or acting BTEC plus A-levels if you want to. The thing is, I'm not an academic person. Like, I am really good at like, remembering facts. Like, I can tell you so much about science, but ask me to write an English essay or a comprehension, like I can't do it, or maths, it's just not my thing. I would rather die. Like, that's how passionate I am with academics, Coco. They don't mix. Coco, musical theatre. That's when things like click. So with Arts Ed, basically, so you can choose one of those courses and do A-levels, but I don't want to do A-levels. So I said to them, what if I don't want to do A-levels? And they said, oh, you'll just have like a gap in your day then. And I was like, but I'm going to be paying the same as everyone else doing A-levels, but I'm going to have like a 3-hour gap in my day. And they were like, yeah. So that was a bit for me. So my mum was like, you have to do an A-level. So I picked film studies because I love media and it's quite similar. And I also said acting A-level and dance A-level. I just picked 3, hoping that I'd get one of them. So I chose to audition for the musical theatre course. I got there on the day, was split up from all my friends that I knew. I did a jazz class, which I thought went really well. I did my singing, and this is where things got a bit bad. I had literally just recovered from a chest infection, and all the songs on the Arts Ed list were so difficult. They're purposefully difficult, and I chose one that had really high and drastic octave jumps, and I could always do it when I was practicing, but when I tell you I got in that audition room, I ruined it. Like, my voice was cracking, it was awful, I was out of tune. I walked out and I was mortified. Like, I had to stop myself from crying. It was horrible. And then I did my acting, which I thought was a redemption because I thought that went really well. I had to do a Shakespeare and then a contemporary piece, and then they had to ask me questions about the Shakespeare. They were saying, all right, who performed this? Why are they doing this? And then they asked me to perform it in different ways. But learning the Shakespeare was so difficult. It really was. That was one of the most challenging things out of auditioning for all of the colleges. And then, because I said I wanted to do these A-levels, I basically had to have an interview about them. But the only problem is that yes, I've done media studies, but I've never done a film studies, and it's a completely different GCSE and A-level. So they were asking me questions about film studies, and I was completely, I was blagging it. I had no clue. I had never done film studies GCSE, and they were asking me questions and I was just making it up. But it all worked out in the end because I got a film studies A-level. As in, I got the option, and I also got the option to do drama A-level. So I actually got both the A-levels I wanted. However, I didn't get the musical theatre course because I messed up my singing because of my chest infection, but I got into the dance course. And actually that is what I wanted to do anyway. It was just my mum was like, I think you should do musical theatre, but I actually wanted to do the dance course. So I got into Arts Ed, that's what I wanted. I got my dance BTEC and my 2 A-levels, and I was very happy about that. Love Arts Ed, but like I said, it's a 6th form and it was only 2 years. My next audition was for Lane Theatre Arts, and this is the college that I wanted to go to the most because I'd say it's the most prestigious one. And I was so scared for this audition. I nearly threw up before, and my friend did throw up before his audition. It was so scary. It was the most intense out of all of them. It was that they were so strict about everything. Like, I had to have a jazz class with strict uniform rules. I had to have a ballet class, which is the first one, with strict ballet uniform, a song and an acting workshop and an interview, and I had to perform my dance solo as well. So it was an entire day, and I was just shaking the entire time. It was terrifying. And everyone there was just so friendly, but you could tell it was not like Arts Ed. It was a new level. Everyone was like walking like this. It was so intimidating. That's the word, intimidating. I thought it all went really well. The ballet class went well, so did the jazz workshop. But the thing is, in that jazz class, it was 2 hours, I think, and I honestly felt like I thought I was going to collapse. Not pass out, like collapse. I couldn't breathe because they made us do it over and over again, like the routine. And also something I really vividly remember, we learned a routine and we had to do it in groups of 2 in front of all these complete strangers who once again were all older than me, because it's quite unusual to go to Lane at 16. It's usually somewhere you go when you're 18 or older. So I was definitely one of the youngest, and doing it in front of all these people was terrifying. But the thing is, everyone else is in the same boat, so everyone else was really scared too. And then I did my singing, which I was so scared about, because this audition, not like Emile Dale and Arts Ed, where usually there's like 1 or 2 people watching you, there was a panel of about 7 people, and it was terrifying, like a new extreme terrifying. And I remember I did my solo in front of these like 7 people, and afterwards I was like out of breath. I was like and they said, Coco, how old are you? And I was like, I'm 16. And they said, really? And I said, yes. And they were like, on your form it says you're 26. I was like, no, I'm not 26. And I was so scared because I was like, what if the entire time they've been judging me as a 26-year-old and not as a 16-year-old? So that was really scary. But after that audition, I didn't think I was gonna get in, because I knew I did well, but because it was so prestigious, I was like, there's no way I'm gonna get in. And basically Lane there's no 6th form, it's diploma and degree, but you can only do the degree after you've done the diploma. So this was a question I got, what's the difference between degree and diploma? So a diploma is 3 years and it's more practical work, as well as degree is more writing, and it's only 2 years. So I auditioned for the Lane diploma, which is 3 years. That's what everyone had to do. And then if you get in, and after your 3rd year, then you can do the degree. And that's the same for Bird. I auditioned for the Bird diploma, which was 3 years, and that was my next audition, and I was so scared for Bird. I mean, I loved the building and everything, but it was just very, very far away, and because I'm travelling in every day, that was a big thing about the distance I'll have to travel. So for the Bird, it was literally so similar. It was much more light-hearted than Lane. Lane was very serious, as was Bird. It seemed a bit more chill. But I had to do a jazz class, a ballet class, I had to do a song, monologue, and my routine. And all of that went really well, apart from the dance actually wasn't jazz. It was a really weird contemporary dance, It was a style that I'd never done before. It wasn't normal contemporary. It was very odd kind of dance. I thought I did quite well. After my Bird audition, I got in my car and we were going to drive to my granny's actually after the audition. And then my mum said, look in the glove compartment. And I looked, and it was a letter from Lane. My heart just dropped, and my mum said, it came like a couple days ago, but I didn't want you to open it before your Bird audition in case I didn't get in. And my confidence just dropped because I got into arts ed, so my confidence was higher up, but my mum didn't want my confidence to drop before my bird, and I didn't do as well. And I was in the car and she was like, open it, and I wouldn't open it. I was like, I can't do it. Eventually I opened it and I got in. I got into Lane Theatre Arts Diploma. So I was over the moon, and then later I got news from Bird, and basically I got in. Then I sent in my self-tapes to Italia Conti. I got through the first round, then I went to the second round, and once again it was just performing my song monologue and taking part in a jazz class like all the others. And I got into Italia Conti, and after I got into, how many is that? 4 colleges, I actually didn't end up auditioning for D&B because that was the lowest on my list anyway. So yeah, that's my college audition rundown. One of the most stressful times of my life, honestly. I didn't think it was gonna end. I honestly found college auditions more stressful than my GCSEs. And I also think it was good that I did them all around February than later, because I think it was so nice to do my GCSEs and know where I'm going to college. It was so nice. So now I'm full-time at my musical theatre college, which I'm just loving, absolutely loving. So now I'm basically going to go on to the questions that you guys have asked me. I mean, I might have answered some of them already, but like I might just talk about them more. What did you have to do for your audition? So create my own dance, which was actually quite hard, but I did get a teacher's help, a monologue and a singing piece. And I think it's really important to get all of your teachers' opinions on what you're choosing, because I would rather sing another song, but they told me, no, sing this one, like you'll get in with this one, because it shows different parts of your voice or different acting techniques that you don't know about, but acting teachers who have been on panels will know about. Were you nervous or anxious? Like I said, I have never ever been as stressed as I have been for all these college auditions, and also waiting, when am I going to get the email, when am I going to get the letter? It's awful, absolutely awful. So do you have an agent? So Sylvia's had an agency, Sylvia Young Agency, and then the college I go to now also has an agency. That is really good because I don't have to find another agent. And what's also really good is at the end of college we basically do a show and agents come and scout out for people, and usually everyone gets an agent that way. Okay, best advice for auditions. Honestly, it sounds so cringe, but it's tactical when you think about it. So I'm gonna say you have to be individual. I'm not gonna say be yourself, like you have to be individual. You need to stand out. Like I spent weeks finding the perfect audition leotard because it couldn't be something that everyone else had. It had to be a different colour to what everyone else had, and it had to make you stand out. Something like that, like my audition leotard is this gorgeous blue one that's a high neck. That's very unusual, and it's got like lace here and it's leopard print. It was very unusual, but like the biggest open back. It was very unique, and no one else had it in any of my auditions. And some girls I saw had matching leotards. I was like, oh. Also, know what college you're auditioning for and dress for that college. So, for example, Bird, I feel is a bit more chilled out. Like you can wear a tracksuit to your audition, still look professional, but a tracksuit. As well as Lane, I literally wore heels and a dress, and I curled my hair, and I had red lipstick on, and eyeliner, and like I said, high heels. You need to know where you're auditioning, and that'll make them see you there. It's quite cheeky, but that's the way it works. And you can't let the fear of all of these strangers around you, you just have to put it aside and just think, okay, like no one else cares what you're doing. I've learned that because I always used to be, oh my God, no, everyone's judging me, like I can't do it, but no one cares. Really, like I can promise you that nobody cares. So just really go for it and be so individual. Okay, was it difficult to convince your parents to let you pursue a creative field? I'm really lucky because my entire family, not even just like who lives in my house, like my entire family is very musical. Like my granny was a dancer, my uncle's a musician, my dad works in the music industry, my mum does amateur productions, and my sister went to musical theatre school. At the end of the day, if I had to go to college and do A-levels in like history and maths or even media studies, which I love, I don't want to do something in the future that won't make me happy, and I wouldn't be happy doing anything academic. The only thing I'd be happy doing is something in the industry. Whether that is being a performer, whether that's going to be being a teacher, a choreographer, a director, a costume designer, even in film. So no, it didn't take too much convincing. How easy is it to get into the school? I don't feel like it's about how easy it is. They're all equally difficult. The expectations and the standards are so high. It's pretty safe to say that they're all quite difficult. What would you say the most stressful part about college is? At the moment, I feel it's the people. Everyone's really lovely, but usually I'm the only 16-year-old in my classes, and sometimes I feel people are like, I don't want to talk to the 16-year-old, like I'm 19, I'm 20, like why do I want to talk to the 16-year-old? Obviously it's stressful, but it's not like school. I remember at Sylvia's, if I forgot my jazz shoes, I get a conduct card and I get in trouble, but that's it. But at college, if you forget something, you don't get in trouble, you don't get a detention, so it's not really stressful in like, oh my god, like I've left something at home, because that's all up to you now. How much of your day is general studies, how much is music and dance? So it varies every day. So usually my days are around 9 o'clock to 4:15 or 10:45 to like 6 o'clock. So quite late, and it honestly varies. There are some days where I've just got dance, but each lesson is very long. It's longer than at Sylvia's. Each lesson is an hour and a half or longer. So for example, my Thursday is contemporary, ballet and Pilates, but then some days it's mostly singing and acting. At the college I go to now, I've got over maybe 6-7 hours of ballet a week, and it's painful. Do you regret not doing more academic A-levels? I want to do MT, but I'm scared to commit. I feel like, because like I said, that there's no way in hell that I'd want to do anything academic. Like it's not my thing, like I would rather die, because it's just not something that I'm interested in at all. But I feel like going to musical theatre college, there's like a deadline, if you know what I mean. If I get to the age of 40 and I think, oh, I want to do a blah 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 A-level, I'll just go to like college, a community college, and do it. But you can't do that with musical theatre colleges, do you know what I mean? So I feel like if you want to do musical theatre, go now, and if you end up not wanting to do it, then just go back and then do different A-levels. The window to do this is so small, so do it now. This one isn't really about musical theatre college, but it's about like the industry. Do you get stage fright, and if so, how do you deal with it? Basically, it's quite weird. I don't get stage fright because in any of the shows I've done, you can't see the audience because they're in darkness or there's smoke or fog, and with the lights, you can't see them. So it's literally like you're on stage by yourself. So I don't get that. And also, I just absolutely love doing it. That I can't be scared doing it. I'm more excited than scared. What's the written work like, if there is any? So I've got a class called Contextuals, and that's like dealing with like nutrition, how to do your taxes and stuff like that, actual life lessons. And I've also got like musical theatre knowledge as well, which I think is really cool. So that's the only written work, but there's literally no academics. Okay, the last question, and I think this one's actually really important. Do you feel there are any body/eating issues in the musical theatre industry? I think definitely 110%. Even if it's like you want to get into a show and you think that you're not the right body type, that all affects you. That might make you stop eating or start eating more and just be unhappy in your body. And also in secondary school and college now, I'm in front of a mirror every day. I actually hate this. One of the ballet rooms, the mirrors are distorted and they shrink you. You just go like this, and it's like a bit of dysmorphia, and everyone thought it at first, and then we were talking about it and everyone was like, they're definitely morphed, aren't they? And we were like, yeah, because you're in the mirror and you're looking at yourself in like a skin tight leotard and tights, and you're looking at the girl next to you and you're comparing yourselves. You don't mean to, but you're like her thighs are smaller than mine, my arms are skinnier than hers. And that can affect you, but there are counsellors at Sylvia's, there are, and at the college I am now. So guys, that was the video. I hope you found it interesting. I'm sorry, I think this is going to be quite long. My voice literally is killing me. I've got to sing tomorrow as well. No, I've got to sing tomorrow. I've got to sing Waving Through a Window and Burn from Hamilton. Oh my god, I have not learnt that yet. So I hope you found it helpful, and I'll see you next time. Bye! Sachet away.